pleasure for Trista and I to have this opportunity to address to such a distinguished audience today. Today we are going to present our final report, and our final report will just take you around 20 minutes, so please hold your question until the end of the presentation. And our final report consists of 3 interviews and a term paper and our reflections. Okay, we will just give a short feedback of our 3 interviews, then have the introduction of our term paper, and then give our reflections toward the whole course we received this semester. Okay, so let's begin with our 3 interviews. In this 3 interviews, we have interviewed an Indian couple who are Dr. Y.K. Rao and Mrs. Nikita. Alright, so what we learned from the interview is 3 G's. As you can see that we know the G's, how to carry on, how to conduct an interview, and the guys to interview people, and also how to generate a guided natural conversation with strangers. Okay, and as to our term paper, the term paper's topic is American teachers' perceptions toward their Taiwanese students, their interest, beliefs, and expectations in the course. And Trista is going to introduce the first 3 chapters. And let's welcome Trista.
Before I start the introduction of our term paper, I'm going to give a briefly description for the background of the term paper. With the advance of the phenomenon that more and more American teachers coming from Western countries and teach English in Asian countries. And not to mention, most of them are qualified teachers or not. A lot of Taiwanese students or Asian students mentioned about that. They think the American teachers are very arrogant and they aren't willing to understand their background and culture because of their superiority. And from the other point of view, from American teachers' point of view, they think that most Asian students, as well as Taiwanese students, they think they have the passive, very passive learning traits and learning habits in the class. For example, they think Asian students do not like to share their opinions or thoughts in the class, and they think this kind of non-passive participating behavior prohibits them from effective English acquisition. So some conflicts are produced because of these kinds of misunderstanding or mismatching expectations. Therefore, we make our topic as the American teachers' perception toward the Taiwanese students' learning traits and belief and expectations in class. But we just focus on American teachers' perception because of the limited time limitation. But if the further study is needed, well, we suggest that maybe student parts have to be completed. So here comes the background of the study. Some researchers mentioned that Taiwanese students' expectations about classroom participation have been shown to English language teaching in terms of cultural conditions should be modified so as to help learners adapt themselves better in their second language learning, especially in outside setting, English-speaking countries. In other words, a certain culture created to help people accommodate themselves into one culture may not appropriate or suitable for another. Here comes the statement of the problems. Many studies argue for the need of exploring the mismatch between Asian students' attitudes or expectations about learning or teaching and the American teachers. However, few studies focus on Taiwanese students, and little research further investigate how American teachers adjust or modify their teaching styles or strategies to deal with conflicts caused by cultural misunderstanding. The purpose of the study is trying to investigate American teachers' perceptions toward Taiwanese students' learning attitudes and toward their English-speaking classes, and also their American teachers' teaching beliefs toward speaking classes. And it is still trying to trigger at exploring is there any conflict caused by cultural misunderstandings between Taiwanese learners and their American teachers. And three research questions will be involved in the study. The first one is, what is the American teachers' expectations toward Taiwanese students before they start teaching in Taiwan? And what are Taiwanese students' learning traits or attitudes toward their English-speaking course? And is there any conflict happened in the class due to cultural misunderstanding between Taiwanese students and their American teachers? And here comes the literature review. Some researchers, such as Norton Pierce, and Garrison, they mentioned that conflict of cultural identity is the key point in the success or failure of language learning. And still another researcher mentioned that recent research studies have shown that the perceptions or beliefs of teachers and their students do not always match. And still another researcher mentioned some studies explore the cultural differences between Asian culture and American culture, how these different cultures develop different learning or teaching styles and affect the language learning or teaching. And 4 items will be included in the methodology. They are participants, instruments, procedure of the study, and data analysis. Participants to start with. The target participants of the study were 2 male American teachers who are teaching English in Central Taiwan. And one of them has taught English in high school in Taiwan for at least 3 years, while the other one has taught English in language center in Taiwan about 5 years. And the only instrument that we applied in the study will be interview. Okay, here comes the procedure of the study. After we conduct the formal study, 2 interviewees have to be interviewed. And both those 2 interviews have to be recorded, and all the recording data have to put into analysis. And for the interview parts, all the data was analyzed deeply and grounded into several categories based on the shared features. Okay. And in the next part, Irene will have